Public service announcement by Graham or Cam.
Excuse me. Yep.
Were you just about to leave the room?
Oh, I was going to get something to drink.
Oh, okay. Why are fetch lands relevant?
Like legit?
I don't know.
Yep.
Here, have a seat.
Why fetch lines are relevant in Magic? Standard, limited, internal formats. Because they get to filter your mana and they put things in the graveyard and they're good.
I actually really don't know what a fetch land is.
Okay, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just,
Okay.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, so a fetch land is a land in Magic the Gathering. Enters the battlefield. It does nothing. You can't tap it for mana. What you can do is tap it to search through your library for one of two different kinds of basic land. So, like for example, a Scalding Tarn lets you sacrifice it to search for a island or a mountain.
At
It's
the mere
relevant
cost of one life.
at the cost of one life. So what happens is you crack it, you put it in an island or a mountain untapped, say, or any combination. There are fetch lands for any two combinations of Magic colors. So one of the things that it did really well was it was printed in a set called Zendikar, which was a land matters set. So you could play a land, and it would trigger an ability on your call. It's called Landfall, where something would happen when you play a land. You would play the fetch land, crack it, get another land into play. So you had two landfall triggers. And that was really good in that environment. The other thing it does is in the format Modern, which has a much broader range of cards to choose from, you could go and fetch a shock land, which was a land that had two kinds of, two basic land types. For example, with a Scalding Tarn, you could get a mountain or an island, or you could get a card called a Steam Vents, which was a mountain island. The relevant part is that, yes, with a basic land, it comes in untapped. Super important. So you could have this on the battlefield, and once you knew exactly what you needed to cast a spell, then you could go and get the relevant mana for it. Or you can get a dual land, like the shock land, or you could get an original dual if you're playing Legacy or Vintage. The other effect is that it shuffles your library, which was really important when the Zendikar fetches were printed, because there was an ability on one of the Planeswalkers, Jace the Mind Sculptor, where it let you put two cards back on top of your library that you didn't need, and then you could crack your fetch land, and after you got the land out of it, you could shuffle your library. So it got rid of two cards that you didn't need. The bees are here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well.
Johnny?
Johnny?
Bees?
I don't know.
Mike Bees.
Oh, just a bit of buzz.
We'll
Bees-
see. You bring
bees-
in more honey.
Apparently the bees are gone.
I don't. Okay.
That's handy if you're playing like a mono something or other.
Yeah.
Then it's handy because I can just get an extra land. But
Yeah.
also if you're playing something that's dual color, then you know you have those shock lands.
Shock lands or the original duels.
Okay, so but if you have that, it's like I know I'm gonna need something. I can go fetch that.
Yeah.
And then
Basically,
so
it's-
are to fetch lands.
It's instant speed mana fixing because it fixes your colors appropriately.
Cool.
Speaking of color fixing, Deathrite Shaman?
Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves fetch lands.
Oh yeah. It populates your graveyard. It thins one card out of your library, which I think every 3 times you do that, it's the equivalent of drawing a card if you pay attention to what guys on the internet say.
What spikes on the internet say?
Yeah. It just does numerous effects that are, they are EDH relevant due to mana symbol. Because they don't search for a particular color of mana, they search for a land, so you can play them in off-color EDH decks.